Hello and welcome to Dario's Tabletop, and today I will show you how I painted my TigerTank. After this one will be the stock, and I will show you what colors I used and what thought processes I went through. For example, the tank commander got painted beige, then green, then beige again. The cap was once gray and so forth, and I didn't use the right colors because I didn't know. So let me get a good view on this one. Yeah, you should use desert colors. At the beginning I used a bit of sandry dust, dunkelgelb and all of that good stuff. But yeah, let me show you around. Let's get a good picture of this one, and I hope we can see all. So as you can see, it's a pretty rusty tank. It's pretty battered and used. Some of it is a bit comic looking. Some of the chipping looks a bit realistic. And yeah, and also I think in the early war you don't have the tracks. I think this is a late Tiger, so the numbers would go and fit on this side where the tracks are, and then you would put on a DAK Panzer like your numbers here, and maybe also in the back. Yeah, I added some storage I had lying around. This one, like I will play this for BoltACtion, but I also love painting tanks, so a great passion of mine. But as you can see, I have also Napoleonic Hanoverians there, so I'm multi-passionate about many miniatures. So what can I say about this tank? First of all, let's go into the what kind of colors you might need. I'm using a lot of VALLEJO colors, and as you can see, this is the color you might want or need. I wouldn't say that the dark sand or Iraqi sand. Let's see what they say. They say for German tanks, it's the Iraqi sand. So let's grab the Iraqi sand. And you will see, you got here Iraqi sand, and then you get dark sand. Yeah, looks kind of same. One is a bit brighter. I think, as you can see here on my wet palette, this I think is the dark sand, and Iraqi sand is a bit more like sandry dust. And you will need something like this for your desert tanks. I used to mix, wait a second, I got it right here, because I bought a bunch of these VALLEJO kits. Where is it? Ah, here it is. As you can see here, I bought German armor, and I would say this is for the European theater, and so I used the dark yellow, the dunkelgelb, or maybe even the middle stone. The buff is to lighten it up, and this looks different. It makes the tank look a bit more greenish, a bit more bluish. Let me show you. Let me grab a tank. Well, maybe we can see it here. Like, these are my desert tanks. You can see also how I painted this DAK Panzer up here. Yeah, so you need definitely a desert color. And, well, the lighting is probably not the best. And then you put a base coat over it. And once the base coat has dried, as you can see, I did put some storage. I had some 3D printed parts and some plastic parts. I also glued some plastic into the driver's department here, and then I took a head from the German Grenadier box and I made him my designated driver. And this is also not like, I think you will get a mini like this. This is from the stock. This is the miniature that will be that you can use as your tank commander. And a friend of mine printed two guys, and he printed this guy with this I don't know, major's cap or Offiziersmütze. Like, this one is like, he has something like Rommel on the head, and I think Erwin Rommel was sporting like some sand green and a green cap. As you can see, a green cap with some red and gold stuff, and then the eagle right there, up there. I painted this guy in a bunch of colors. I used the green. I used the refractive green, as you can see right here. And I did put, I colored his jacket similar to this guy. Like, as you can see, this is my DAK Panzer. And so this guy has the cap. And also, like, I used the refractive green. And then for my Sicily stuck, I used the same refractive green, but gave the guy then a bright cap. So it wasn't easy to find the right way how to paint them. I looked on pictures on Google and tried my best. And this is what I came up with. So kind of sand colored jacket. And then he has this green, in German it's called Mütze, and it has this red stripes. And yeah, you will find it. And I also gave him some shoulder, how do you call it? The things you see on the shoulder with a bit of gold. I think after I painted it, I started applying a wash, a soft tone. And I wouldn't go overboard with the soft tone because like you can dull up the color. And after I applied it everywhere, because I was I think I was watching Sonic Sledgehammer Studio. I can link it up here, how he paints the 222, and he applies the soft tone everywhere. But I found that maybe if you're using some Iraqi sand or some sand color, which you will use, then it's fine. It will probably look good. But because I mixed it from Sandry Dust, from Citadel, and with some buff and Dunkelgelb, it was too dark. So go for something that looks a bit more like the desert. Then I applied some decals. As you can see, pretty tiny decal right here. A bigger one won't really fit because like the tiger has a lot of stuff going on there. Then originally I applied some much smaller decals on the side, but it kind of didn't look right because like I checked the pictures I found on the internet, and the tiger had some pretty big and bold numbers. But you can also find some tigers that have small numbers. But for me, I thought I want to go. This is a tiger, and if I put it down on the BoltACtion field, I want people to fear it. And so some big red bright markings will do the job. I mean, this is the big monster on the battlefield, and it should be treated like that. And the big bright numbers help. Then I started chipping the decals and the tank, and yeah, don't chip these ones too much, and also the other decals, because when I finished with the chipping, the decals were so heavily weathered that they weren't stand out. So it looked kind of realistic, but it also, you need always some contrast on your minis so that things can pop out and that they can look good. And so I removed them, I scratched them off with a scalpel, and I put it on again, and this time I barely chipped them, I barely touched them. As you can see, like very, very mild chipping, so that the legibility is still there and that the contrast is still there. What else? Then I started taking the Panzer Gray. Where is the Panzer Gray? I think in one of the boxes there is the Panzer Gray. It's in this one. And it is a very dark gray, as you can see here. And that will give you the illusion, you can see it here, that will give you the illusion of chipping, and that the metal will show from underneath. Yeah, and through, come on. Lighting ain't really good. Let me see, maybe the lighting this way is a bit better. Give me a second. Yeah, maybe this is a bit better. As you can see, I chipped it here. You take a piece of foam and you start chipping it. Again, you can go pretty overboard, but I kept it kinda moderate, because if you go too far, yeah, you can. It's just looking then too messy. So you need definitely, like, it looks like super weathered right now, but it is a true art of not weathering it too much, like, if it makes sense, because like it could easily look like just a huge mess. And so you have to time where you put the things. It has to give up a yin and yang. Then I chipped it. As you can see, I did put some dots in here. I tried to brighten up some of the color. Doesn't look super good, but from the distance it might look okay or even good. What else? I think I painted the tracks Panzer gray. What else? I used some refractive green here. I used some Mornfang brown for the boxes and the fuel tank, and also for the rusted up tracks here. It was a discussion in my playgroup, does a TigerTank rust like that? I don't know, but I find it cool. But I did find some other drawings and paintings and miniatures who were rusted similarly in this way. And then I mixed up a bit of yellow and a bit of red. I would say go for something like this. You could also use orange, but I think if you mix it, there is a discrepancy in the color, and maybe you don't mix it fully. So some parts will look a bit more yellow and some parts will look a bit more reddish. And the color will also like settle a bit differently. And then I would go and chip the parts in which you want to be rusty again. Don't go completely overboard. Try to keep it somehow. I wouldn't say subtle, but you know, too much could easily look too messy. Then I take some silver. I tried some VALLEJO silver, but it is not the same as the lead belcher. I really love the lead belcher. Again, I did put some of the lead belcher to the paper, not on my wet palette, as you can see here. If you take it from the wet palette, it could smear. If you take it from a paper, it is really dried, and get rid of most of the excess lead belcher, and yeah, just press it gently on with a piece of foam. This is the foam I'm using. Press it on with a bit of foam that you catch the raised edges, and then you can see that it shows a bit through. So same here. And also you can use some of that metal lead belcher to chip the parts you chipped earlier with the Panzer gray, so that it shows a bit of the metal through, yeah, where the color has been scraped off. What else? Then, as you can see here, I used also some of the rust and some soft tone. I take a very small brush like this, and you just go with the brush and you take it a bit of color, and then you go like this. And I think it causes the illusion that some water was running down there and kind of dried up, and so now it's rusting, as you can see, like right here. And I went also over the tank, and as you can see, sometimes I smeared it pretty heavily, sometimes I went gently. I would say go gentle on it. If you're like, this one is gentle and looks a bit better. Here also gentle. Here it looks a bit too harsh, doesn't look good. As you can see, I chipped down here with metal and rust. First the rust, then the metal. What else? As you can see, I did put down some white dots right here and back here, and also some white dots here. And then once that was fully dried, I put on some black dots, and that might look like somebody, in German it's called Einschusslöcher. I don't know what it's in English, but you can see it doesn't look super amazing. I would say this is a bit more the comic look, but if you're looking from far away, it looks as if something got chipped away and holes are showing through, so it doesn't look too bad. And as you can see, like, this is my TigerTank. And yeah, what else can I say? I think you're able to paint this bad boy up. I wanted to provide some inspiration, some guidance. Let me know how you will paint up your tank commander. I have seen this guy in black. I've seen this guy with a cap on. Again, if I would redo this tiger, I think I would put a guy up there with a cappy like this, or maybe a different cap, but why not? And yeah, so man, the lighting sucks. Maybe I have to figure out how to get a better lighting. So maybe this is a bit better. So yeah, 60 minutes, I think that's enough. Have fun painting your tanks. Do yourself a favor and do you. I also put some soft tone right here. Some use like some enamel wash. I don't know what that is, but take some soft tone and put it at the corners, at the edges. That's where maybe the grease and grime would just settle. And yeah, ask me any questions and I will answer. And have fun playing BoltACtion or just putting together miniatures. I think I've made also a review of this tiger tank. This is the Italy Tiger. It is pretty solid. I like it. And yeah, see ya.